Is the fork. Choose your path. Just know, I chose my own fate. I drove by the fork in the road and went straight. Sean J.Z. Carter. Our team includes Nicole Shutton, Corey Brinkmeyer, myself, Mohammed Traore, and Robert Niles. We're a team of business owners, web designers, avid self-learners, high school teacher. And we also have Robert Niles here is a mathematics teacher that uses project-based learning. So we found that students aren't being taught how to apply what they're learning to revenue-generating opportunities and in an engaging way. 60% of our survey respondents said they learn best by doing. 98% said they would support a method of learning that was monetized. So when looking at the data, we found that our value prop was essentially solidified. And this prop being that creating a program that incentivizes students to learn how to participate in the digital economy. So this would be done by focusing on a project-based curriculum in which the students are able to create final deliverables that they themselves have the ability to use.
So even though this project is new for us, this is not a new concept in education, going back to even before the 1980s. In 1982, a study was completed over 15 years with 13,000 students in 1,000 classrooms. And it showed that students that were performing in activity-based programs did 20% better or scored 20% higher than those that were in traditional sit-in-your-seat classrooms. More recently, the Association for Career and Technical Education, which is what I'm a part of, also showed that 81% of high school dropouts said that had they had some real-world learning experiences and application, it probably would have kept them in school longer. Our program looks like this. It's a simple 3-step program that is based on a subscription model. Motivated students create an account to sell their unique product. The subscription is $7 per month, and that $7, or the total cost of the product rather, is offset by ad revenue, by business sponsorships, by grants, and by donations. Next, once the students get logged in, they're guided through a series of video and text modules that allow them to learn new skills and practice them in a sandbox type form. And then third, students can learn to generate revenue by selling their own items, or even potentially do it the same and make more money for themselves. A quick mock-up here shows you that we have a playlist of the project here, which in this case is based on e-commerce. So the students can start and stop when they want. They can resume and pick up where they left off. And where it says start here is where our video would be embedded. That video, once again, would have advertisements built into it to help, again, offset the costs. If the student already feels like they have an understanding or knowledge of that area, they can simply start and stop or pause. They can go and perform the activity and practice it, and if they need to, they can come back to it. Our e-commerce project looks like this. Basically 4 steps. You've got hosting, you've got setting up a point of sale system with Shopify, you've got a product development course, and then you also have a management of your online store. By going through these steps, it would allow students to better understand web design basics, computer programming concepts, digital content creation, project management, and financial education.
Let's look at the customer segments for the Fork. We're focused on students who are 13 to 18 years old and who prefer to learn by doing. We're marketing to schools and alternative schools, as well as community centers, youth centers, and parents. When we did our survey, we had a substantial buy-in from parents They were our largest set of survey respondents. This shows the percentage of our survey respondents. The largest group is the 35 to 44 group, 31.7%. The next two largest in percentage were 25 to 34 and 45 to 54 at 19% each. One of our takeaways from the survey, respondents were asked about their positive and negative school experiences. The positive experiences were centered around relationships and group activities, such as sports and clubs, or areas where they learned leadership. Learning was not mentioned. Negative school experiences focused on poor teachers and classroom habits, with a focus on grading rather than learning. A second takeaway, our question was, what do you wish you had learned in school? 53% responded with some version of a life skill, including personal finance, taxes, or ways to make money. A third takeaway, how would you have liked to learn this? 52% responded with a project-based learning approach. Only 12% responded with a focus that included taking tests.
So going forward, we see that technology is changing at an unprecedented pace.
Questions?
Sure. So can you just say a little bit more about where that data came from?
Yeah, we did surveys throughout the day yesterday and even collecting them through the night, last night. We had 63 respondents. I reached out to some former students that either graduated recently or will be seniors in school this year. Reached out to some educators on an educator Facebook platform, as well as just my own social media channels. Rob and Mo, you want to talk a little bit about?
And so I created a survey with a service called Typeform, and what you can do with them is customize the workflow. So depending on if they chose student, parent, or teacher, I was able to make it so that they could skip a certain set of questions and only answer the ones applicable to them. Additionally, for the multiple choice questions or the multi-answer questions, made sure that they were randomized in every single survey so that they weren't seeing them in a consistent order and they truly had to search for the answers that they wanted to get.
And I would also comment that the ones where we asked them about their positive and negative experiences, those were open-ended, so they could answer however they wanted.
So I appreciate the work going into this. I've done research on this topic as well, so I know it's a very important area. One question about the prototype was around, your survey feedback, you got a lot of feedback around people liking group work, collaboration. So how does that work within the prototype? It looked like it was individual. You built something, but how do they collaborate and do the teamwork side of things? Is that part of your offering?
So that's the one thing with really marketing community centers and youth centers. So a lot of these places, you might have some school districts that are able to give students computers. In other cases, you have students that don't have them or may not have access to the internet. However, if you can get computers within community centers or youth centers, you're more than likely going to end up with more students doing these projects in groups. But in almost every case, you are going to see students asking each other. You see them sharing their TikTok videos with each other, their Instagram posts with each other. Anything that more students are working on, they tend to consistently talk about with one another.
Great. So in terms of content, where is your content coming from? In your videos and your assessment and your learning program? Are you guys writing the content?
I would create the first set of content in terms of Wix and Shopify and also designing and managing your store. So I've created over 15 of these websites in the last year. And when it comes down to it, knowing that these students can at least do one within a year, it really does not take very much time once you do one or two of them. And when it comes down to it, you can do it with Zoom, live stream it yourself as well to show other people. Save those videos, and then the other thing we can do is take some content from other sources that are open source and also have those as other outlets just in case students want to look through it. And the other thing we really want to do is have surveys at the end of each module so students can say what worked, what didn't work, the questions that they have. If there are consistent things that come up that provides opportunity to make another short video or an FAQ section of this is how this is done, or this is how this is done, to make sure that those questions are continually answered.
Have you considered in your business model taking a small percentage of the revenue generated by the businesses that came out of this?
Well, the thing with it is that, so some of these students won't have an opportunity to open a store by not having the money. So we will also be hosting Wix websites and Shopify websites on enterprise plans, so they can sell goods and items through there. And then at that time, we just don't see a need to actually have that happen, because we can insert Google Ads in there as well if we'd like to gain revenue from there. And then when it comes to businesses as well in the area,